Welcome to Good Goodbyes, the funeral facts podcast. We are really glad you found us. In this podcast, me, Simon, a funeral director,
And me, Tina, I'm an independent celebrant.
are going to discuss all things funeral in an informal space to demystify what happens when we say goodbye.
Based on your questions and queries, Si and myself are two industry professionals that are going to chat through the hows, whats, and wherefores. We actively work in the funeral industry in Devon in the UK. So, we hope you enjoy the episode ahead. Welcome to Good Goodbyes. Hello, welcome to Good Goodbyes. This is Tina.
And I'm Si. And today, this run up to Christmas, we thought we'd talk about exactly that, and that is grief at Christmas, because it's an incredibly family-centric time of year. And if you've lost someone from your family and someone that was an integral part of last Christmas, what's this Christmas going to be like? So we thought we'd give that as sort of a good conversation today.
Perfect, because I think it's one of it's one of those times of year that we really do potentially notice the people that are missing around us. And even if you lost your person years ago, you can often still get that feeling of like this is when we would have gathered. So Christmas can be, or the festive season, if you don't celebrate Christmas, can be a moment when that happens and feels really tangible. And also it may be your first Christmas without somebody. So just some ideas really where you might get help, and also potentially some of the things you can do to give yourself a bit of comfort at this time of year. So
Absolutely.
what's your kind of recommendations to people, Si?
It's so difficult, and it comes from any grief really, is that huge adjustment and the change in what has been the norm sometimes for a long time. And um it's especially difficult in the festive season, because it is ordinarily when people get back together, when families come together to celebrate. I would say always continue to celebrate. Don't allow your grief to stop you celebrating,
Mm.
because that's one of the worst things you can do, is allow it to mar the occasion that should be a celebration. And try and include your person in that. Right, especially if there's children, it can be very odd for them, because they're not going to get a Christmas card from Granddad this year or whatever it might be.
Mm.
So try and include them in that celebration as well. But certainly don't allow it to be all consuming, which is probably easier said than done. But I think it's something to aim for if you can. And let's try and talk about some of the ways we can do that, and how we
Yeah, I mean,
make that.
I think that's a really good point. And I think that there are a number of recommendations we could give to you. And if you have any others of your own, please do let us know and we can mention them for people. But I would say two key things. One is make a space for them on the day and around that time. So I had a great story from somebody I used to work with who lost their dad, and he hated Brussels sprouts. So every single Christmas meal, there'd be a big finale when he would be made to have at least one on his plate, and he would be made to eat it, and he would make a massive fuss and pull a load of faces and go, "Ugh," and all this sort of thing. And so every Christmas now, before they serve up the rest of their food, which is in the center of the table, they all take one sprout and they all say, just one sprout, just one. And they make a big fuss about eating it, whether they like it or not. And that's a kind of nod to him and how he was at Christmas. So you could do anything like that. I know other people to help the children kind of understand this absence now of a grandparent or a parent or maybe a sibling, is to go and buy a Christmas ornament that is for that person. And so when the tree is put together or you put your decks out, that particular ornament, that's granddad's ornament or that person's ornament, and that comes out and it allows you to chat about them, and then that goes up. So that's another thing that I've heard that I think might be quite helpful. And on the day, so you can relax and think, right, now we can play games or watch stupid telly or pull crackers and laugh and have a drink, is maybe just do something that is specifically for them, like light a candle, go on a short walk on in a place they liked, do something that you think this is the moment in which we're honoring them and them not being here anymore, but then the rest of the day, it's okay for it to be for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things I've heard a couple do is that over breakfast, they all used to watch an episode of Fools and Horses because that's what he always loved. Fools and Horses was his big thing. And then
Yeah.
after that had happened, they could stop being quite so sad and just enjoy the day.
That's fantastic. I think the ornament actually is a fantastic idea. I hadn't sort of kind of thought of that until you mentioned it. But then there's almost an element of them that your person being present. They're on the tree. They're included in this celebration, and and that's what I was trying to get out without trying to sound too kind of morbid about it. Is include them in that. And yeah,
Yeah.
the one sprout. I mean, I love sprouts. I absolutely love.
Do you like them?
Yeah,
I
I really
quite
do.
like them actually. Yeah, I quite
But
like
yeah,
them.
that one sprout thing is fantastic because you can have a laugh with that. You can
Yeah.
smile and like know that you've acknowledged, recognised,
Yeah.
and then carry on with your dinner with a smile on your face.
Yeah. There's a lot around food. I know another family and their mum always did the whole Christmas dinner. So when she died suddenly and unexpectedly, they were a bit like, who's going to cook Christmas dinner now? You know, it always went to hers. It was always her big thing. So the sisters decided to share the hosting. One does it one year, one does it the other. And they have this competition about the stuffing. So the mum always did the best stuffing. So there's kind of like you have to vote. There are voting slips, and it's like and they've got a little kind of trophy, best stuffing trophy, and that's kind of a nod to their mum, you know, in that kind of legacy of like her cooking, which I think is a really gorgeous thing. So yeah, make it your own. I mean, the other things I was just going to mention is to make time for yourself. So if you know that you're going to find this really hard and that you're coming into a period maybe without your partner or and other people will scoop you up potentially and say, do you want to come for some food or to have some time together? Or perhaps not, perhaps you're spending the day on your own. It's just to make some time for yourself to feel whatever you want to feel. And you might go, you know, you might be someone who has a faith that means you want to be in a church and light a candle or listen to some carols or do anything that is kind of okay for you. But yeah, make some time for yourself and think that this is all right, that I'm just having a little bit of time to just notice that I'm feeling this way.
Yeah, I think faith is an incredible thing, especially around Christmas, isn't it? And it brings people together as well. You're not going to be on your own in that church, and that's a big part of what faith and what family can look like. Anything. It doesn't have to be flesh and blood, does it? It's your church family will absolutely support you through that as well.
Yeah.
Your community as well. We see it all the time these days, and it's great to see that there are businesses around that if you are going to be on your own, will be cooking Christmas dinner and they will be opening their doors. So community events, we have a Christmas swim here where we are in the world, and go and be involved in things like that because it can be a great help to if you feel that you need to be with people to be with them informally. So yeah, there's lots of things out there, and from a grief point of view and from a kind of care point of view, there's still facilities available for you. So we have grief chat on our website, and that's available, so you have direct access to a grief counsellor, and things like that are still out there. So that if you are feeling like you need to talk to somebody, and it's probably 99% of people would like to do that. There is definitely a percentage that don't and want to be on their own and want to kind of deal with it that way. But if you did feel that just talking to somebody would help, then those things don't go away. They don't stop. So use those. Use the facilities that are there for you.
And some of them, as you've rightly said, they do even more over the festive season because they know it's a
Yeah.
bit of a tipping point for people. We'll put some links in the notes for you, but Cruise have got a fantastic website. There's so many good options out there. And Cruise, just so folks are aware, if you're supporting somebody who English isn't their first language, they have lots of language alternatives on that website. So definitely worth checking it out. And as Si said, Grief Chat is great because it's a lifetime chat option, and the Samaritans who are open 24/7. So, lots of places, even in, the middle of the night, that you can get support from people.
Yeah. Samaritans is a really good one because people kind of associate it with suicide and crisis and things like that. But it's not. It's people that are there for people, people that will support you, will chat to you, will be there for you. And it's like, it comes from the Good Samaritan, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
just a person that cares enough to be there. So yeah, don't feel that that's all it's for. Because I hear that a lot. I hear that, oh well, that's I couldn't possibly use the Samaritans. I'm not in crisis. It's not what it's about. You're actually feeling down or feeling like you need support is your crisis.
Yeah.
So yeah, who's to say at what level certain support kicks in? So yeah, do use what's out there.
And thanks, Si. And I think, the only other thing maybe to mention is that whatever's going on with you is likely to be normal. So, there's a whole thing about I can't tell people I feel like this because it's not normal. So some people see or hear the person who's died, that's absolutely normal. Being angry with everybody. How dare people blooming celebrate and go around with Christmas jumpers on, and don't they realise my life has changed completely? It's completely normal to feel like that, feeling anxious or going over every detail of what's happened when the person died, all these things, feeling normal, crying, feeling poorly, not being able to sleep. They're all normal grief things, and over time they do tend to, some of them fade away, and the rhythm of life comes back for you in a different form without your person. But yeah, just know that a lot of this is normal, and I think this time of year, this Christmas ho 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 time of year, there's no escape. I think that's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of everywhere, isn't it? In all the aisles and everything. And I once knew somebody who'd lost their brother in early December, and this was a single person who spent Christmas with his brother, and he said, "Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do." He said, "I might just go to the cinema and watch some non-Christmassy film." So I am kind of with people, but I'm not having to do any Christmas.
Yeah,
And that's
it's kind
fine
of
too. If you don't want to do any Christmas, that's okay.
yeah. That's why I said some of the community events that are on, like Christmas swims and things like that. You're with people. You can smile at all the fools coming out that are freezing cold, and not necessarily be with anyone, but you know that everyone that's there, it's Christmas. They're going to be smiling. Right? They're going to give you a nice kind of polite smile and a hello. And yeah, who knows? You might bump into someone that you haven't seen for a little while, and that could do with chatting to you as well.
So we hope those things are helpful for thinking about grief at Christmas. It kind of gets slightly highlighted, and it feels a bit stronger sometimes, maybe at these times of year when other things are going on. But we hope it's helpful. And as I say, if you've got any tips for folks, then please do share them and we'll pass them on. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
I'm going to go one step further than thanks for listening, because I know exactly when this podcast is going out. Wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas or festive time. Be kind to each other, enjoy it, and know that we're here for you if you need us. Take care.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Good Goobyes, the Funeral Facts podcast. Please do like, subscribe, comment, and share. Drop any questions on our social media, on Instagram, or in the text option in the show notes.
Si and I are qualified professionals, but we always advise our clients to seek any additional support from medical practitioners if they need to. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay well and be kind to one another.
You've been listening to Good Goodbyes, the Funeral Facts podcast. Please do like, subscribe, comment and share. Drop any questions on our social media, on Instagram, or in the text option in the show notes.
Si and I are qualified professionals, but we always advise our clients to seek any additional support from medical practitioners if they need to. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay well and be kind to one another.